Ryan, the property lawyer here again, and today we're going to go meet Leslie Gaynor. She is a real estate agent. She's going to be introducing us to some clients that need their wills prepared. Oftentimes people wait until a lot later in life to get their wills done. The reality is you never know when something can happen to you, so it's important to get your will done as soon as possible. Ready? All right. Sometimes it's good to meet clients on site. Different needs. You gotta do that. So today's gonna be one of those days. The snow. Well, I feel like it's crucial. People don't want to talk about death. You know, they don't like to talk about it. Skunk spray time, bro. Annoying. Yeah. Sure we know what we're going here. 29 minutes. Gonna be a little bit late. Alright, so we're on our way over to see these clients. I think the thing about older clients oftentimes is they're not comfortable with technology. You do have to make an exception every now and again to help a client out like that. And so that's what we're trying to do. It always makes sense for you to have a will. That's the reality. That's the way I see it. Dealing with all of the assets associated with that particular estate. It's already going to be hectic. You've got now an executor who's usually in an emotional state because their loved one has just passed away without any real guidance. As an executor, if you do end up or find yourself in that space, you should be calling a lawyer at that stage anyway to help you read that will. Excited to get out and speak to people about it. So that's what we're going to go do today. Well, a lawyer essentially plays two roles. One is that the lawyer drafts the will, right? So we would put the will together, gather information on your estate and your assets, and then draft a will that makes sense based on those assets. Second, we would be advising on who it is that should be executor of that estate, and assessing and helping the client assess based on what we think is good criteria for an executor, who it is they should choose in their circle. We also get clients to be mindful of the fact that if you make multiple estate trustees, that you really could bump into a situation where there's going to be conflict about decisions. We often encourage and advise that unless there are exceptions or exceptional circumstances, that really you only designate one person as that estate trustee. There's also the fact that at the end of it all, when you do pass away and your will needs to be executed, the lawyer can and should help assist with administering that estate, interpreting the will, making sure that the executor understands what needs to be carried out, helping that executor make the correct decisions based on what the will says, and also filing the paperwork to execute the will if necessary. Like we're right up against the water. Come on, man. Just cut in front of me.
What happens if someone doesn't have a will?
If somebody doesn't have a will, their estate falls into what's called the intestacy rules. Intestacy rules mean that your estate will flow down to your next of kin in line and in order. Essentially what happens is your property passes by way of bloodline. The general rule is if you've got dependents or you've got children, those children would automatically get an equal share in the estate. You've got a spouse, that person is dedicated to a specific amount of $150,000 for the entire estate, if there's enough money to even support that person. It can get quite contentious among all of the beneficiaries if you don't have a will. If you can't get to a lawyer, at the very least, write it all out by hand and sign it every page, sign or initial every page. That would count as a valid will all around it. This really is a time. We don't do that.
Oh, well.
Toronto ladies.
How did it go?
It was a meeting with some older ladies that having some challenges with some infighting in their family. Will is so crucial. For that will to be updated, for it to be clear. We can't even think of something that would be more important right now. You've got a property that needs to be dealt with and transferred, or at least if there's a dispute with that property, that it's taken care of and that the person who is managing the estate has some clear direction as to what to do. Very, very important, very valuable. I felt like it spoke to just exactly how important it is for your will to be up to date, for you to have a will. Old, young, doesn't matter. You just don't know when you're going to die. You could live until you're 90, or you could die, in a car accident, plane accident, anything. The meeting today was just a perfect example of why that's true.